Marriage wasn't just an event, it was a culmination of everything I believed in: loyalty, devotion, love. Standing at the altar, staring into Emily's shimmering blue eyes, I felt invincible. She was my world, my anchor, my forever. Our wedding unfolded like a dream. Delicate roses lined the aisle, soft candlelight flickered against golden chandeliers, and whispers of admiration surrounded us. Every moment was perfect, every heartbeat synchronized with hers. When she said, "I do," nothing else mattered. The honeymoon, though brief, felt eternal. 3 days of bliss, wrapped in each other's arms, bodies entwined beneath moonlit skies. Nights were electric, filled with whispered secrets, breathless laughter, and an insatiable hunger that neither of us could quench. She was my wife, my queen, my everything. Then the call came. Her parents' voices crackled through the phone, insisting on a family trip, a tradition, they claimed, one Emily couldn't break. I didn't understand it, didn't want to, but she pleaded, promising it would only last a week. "Just 7 days," she murmured against my chest, fingers tracing my collarbone. "I'll be back before you know it." Reluctantly, I let her go. The moment she left, the house felt emptier than I ever imagined. Sheets still smelled like her perfume, her laughter echoed in my mind, but something felt wrong. I tried pushing the unease away. I texted, called, waited. The first day, her responses were swift, filled with hearts and longing. By the third, they grew shorter. By the fifth, silence. I convinced myself it was nothing, that I was paranoid, that love wasn't something fragile enough to break in a week. Until the message arrived. "Do you really know where your wife is?" A chill ran down my spine. My fingers trembled as I typed my reply. "Who is this?" No answer came. Just an address. A hotel. The Grand Riviera. And a single, haunting sentence. "Come see for yourself." Dread curled in my stomach like a venomous serpent. My mind raced with possibilities, each one more damning than the last. Emily had never mentioned a hotel. A family trip should have involved cabins, lakesides, or perhaps a cozy resort, not the Grand Riviera, a place known for its extravagance and discretion. I tried calling her again. No answer. I sent a text. "Hey love. How's the trip?" The message sat unread for hours. By evening, I couldn't take it anymore. My heartbeat thundered as I booked a flight. The moment I stepped off the plane, a heavy weight pressed against my chest. I rented a car, gripping the steering wheel so tight my knuckles turned white. The Grand Riviera rose before me, its towering glass exterior reflecting city lights like a beacon of sin. I parked, inhaling deeply, steadying the whirlwind inside me. Inside, the scent of expensive perfume, aged whiskey, and something unspoken lingered in the air. I approached the front desk, feigning casual interest. "My wife checked in a few days ago," I said, sliding a folded bill toward the concierge. "Emily Carter." The man hesitated, eyes flickering with recognition. "I'm sorry, sir, but we value guest privacy." I leaned in, voice colder. "I'm not asking. Room number." His gaze darted around before he scribbled something on a notepad. "Suite 1407. I turned, muscles coiled with tension, storming toward the elevators. The numbers crawled upward, 10, 11, 12. My pulse pounded in my ears. The doors slid open. I stepped out. Voices murmured down the hall. A laugh hers. Light, musical, unmistakably Emily's. I followed the sound, feet moving on instinct. The door stood ajar. My fingers twitched as I pushed it open. And then, my world shattered. Emily. Wrapped in silk sheets, her bare back arched beneath the touch of another man. His lips trailed down her spine. She gasped, not in surprise, not in guilt, but in pleasure. I wanted to scream, to tear the walls apart, to destroy everything in sight. Instead, I stepped forward. "Enjoying your family trip, sweetheart?" Emily's body tensed. Her head snapped toward me. Eyes widened in horror. And the man beside her? He simply smirked. Silence stretched between us, suffocating, deafening. The room smelled of sweat, sex, and deceit. My stomach twisted, but I refused to falter. Emily clutched the sheets against her bare chest, trembling. Her lips parted, but no words came. The man, tall, chiseled, exuding wealth, leaned back against the headboard, utterly unfazed. He raked a hand through his dark hair, amusement flickering in his eyes. "Well, this is awkward," he mused, voice dripping with arrogance. Rage surged through me like an inferno. My fists clenched, nails digging into my palms. My wife. My Emily. In bed with another man just days after our wedding. "Say something," I demanded, voice eerily calm. Tears welled in her eyes. You what?" I spat. "Got lost on your family trip and landed in some stranger's bed?" She flinched, but the man beside her chuckled. "Not a stranger." His confidence made my blood boil. My gaze snapped to Emily. "Who is he?" She hesitated. The pause told me everything. "He's my ex," she admitted, barely above a whisper. The word sliced through me like a blade. "You married me while still hung up on him?" My voice rose, raw, wounded. "Why, Emily? Why the lies? Why the vows?" Tears streamed down her cheeks, but I felt nothing but disgust. "I didn't plan for this," she pleaded. "It just happened." The man, her ex, smirked. "You can't really be surprised, can you? You actually thought you could keep someone like her satisfied." My hands twitched at my sides, aching to strike, but I refused to give him the satisfaction. I turned to Emily, breathing ragged. "Was anything real?" She sobbed, but her silence was answer enough. Pain twisted into something colder, sharper. I exhaled, smoothing out the storm raging inside me. "You know what?" I said, voice steadier than I felt. "Keep him. You two deserve each other." I turned to leave. "Wait." Emily scrambled off the bed, grabbing my arm. "Please, don't go like this. I made a mistake." I yanked free, disgusted by her touch. "No, Emily. You made a choice." And without another word, I walked out, leaving behind the woman I had loved, and the revenge already brewing inside me. Pain fueled me. Anger sharpened my focus. As I stepped out of the Grand Riviera, the weight of betrayal threatened to crush me, but I refused to be its victim. Emily thought she had won. She thought she could humiliate me, shatter my heart, and still have me grovel at her feet. She had no idea who she had married. I didn't drown myself in sorrow. Instead, I took control. The first thing I did was call my lawyer. "File for divorce," I ordered, voice like steel. "I want it fast. No negotiations." "And the assets?" he asked. I smirked. "I'm taking everything." Emily didn't know this, but before our wedding, I had protected every dollar I owned. The house? In my name. Our joint accounts? Only a formality. I had quietly transferred my savings elsewhere before the marriage. Every gift, every luxury she enjoyed, bought with my money. She had nothing. The next few days I went silent. No messages, no calls. I let her panic, let her stew in the mess she created. And then, just as she was probably wondering if I'd ever reach out, I sent her a single text. "I hope he was worth it." Hours later, my phone buzzed. "Emily, please, let's talk. I messed up. I love you." I didn't reply. She called. I declined. Then came the voicemail, her voice trembling. "Please, just let me explain. It was a mistake. I didn't mean to hurt you. Can we meet?" I almost laughed. Didn't mean to hurt me? She had stripped my heart bare and set fire to the remains. Instead of responding, I let my lawyer do the talking. Emily was served the divorce papers at her parents' house, where she had crawled back after I cut her off. Her precious lover? Nowhere to be found. Turns out, he wasn't interested in a broke married woman. The final nail in the coffin? Emily had no idea I had security cameras in our home. Footage of her sneaking out in the middle of the night during our marriage, meeting him even before the so-called family trip, was enough to ensure she got nothing in the divorce. When she finally saw me in court, She was a shell of the woman I had married. Tears in her eyes, hands clasped together as if in prayer. Please, don't do this. I made a mistake. I looked at her, feeling absolutely nothing. You made your choice, Emily, I said, voice devoid of warmth. Now, live with it. And with that, I walked away, never looking back.